Để anh check bấm like thêm. Kiểu thì bên đây bình thường, em cứ lướt bình thường. Anh nghe em so can you hear me? Let's welcome back to the English live stream series again. And yes, again today we're gonna have a look into, let's say, the season of this year. It's not about the weather or anything like that, but specifically I'm talking about a happy season where we have a lot of celebrations and anniversaries. So as you can see, the first question we have right here for you is that, do you think that you spend a little bit more money this month? And I guess you know why. Because this month, or actually in the couple of this month and next 2 months, I think so, we will, let's say, witness or experience a lot of upcoming weddings. So eventually, that is the reason why you think, yeah, you will probably spend a little bit more than what you usually do in the last couple of months. Okay. So really quick, so Village will bring you the topic about wedding seasons. Super, let's say, familiar. And when mentioning wedding, you always know that this is a happy time. This is a celebration, a big celebration in one mankind life. But however, to prepare or to get everything ready for a wedding can be quite exhausting and quite problematic, you know. So in today's topic, in today's live stream series, episode, sorry, the episode of the Village live stream series, we're gonna talk about wedding season. So we're gonna go through how a wedding is, let's say, processed, and what we're gonna do, what we're gonna wear at a wedding. Okay, so really quick, probably this topic I'm not really having so many, or no, I don't have so much experience in this specific field, so that I cannot share a lot of my my real experience. However, from what I research and from what I know, and hopefully I can actually help you with a little bit of knowledge, provide you with a little bit of knowledge about wedding in Vietnam, or Vietnamese wedding. Okay, really quick. So what we're gonna cover today, A to Z guide again for a wedding, would be about the tray, the tea ceremony, which is, let's say, the initial stage of a wedding, or let's say you have to have the tea ceremony before you can process to an actual wedding. Okay, so tea ceremony, and in tea ceremony we're gonna have a bunch of procedure that you have to go through or you have to do to call it a tea ceremony. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and after you got the tea ceremony between the two families, what you have to decide next is about costumes. So costumes are what you're going to wear at the wedding, or let's say what the guests are supposed to wear in a wedding. So what I'm saying here is about the uh, groom and the bride's costume as well as the dress code for the wedding. It can be varied, it can be up to personal preferences, but in this live stream, we're just gonna show you, we're gonna provide you with some few example, like actually some example that you usually see in daily life. Nothing too special or nothing too particular about this part. And next one, we're gonna have the word bouquet. Bouquet is, let's say, is a more sophisticated word for flower. So actually, bouquet is the word flower when you use it in the wedding. It's a small bunch of flower that the bride used to hold it. Okay, bouquet, we're going to talk about that a little bit, just a small part. And lastly will be the plan and the step before the wedding, in the wedding, and after the wedding. We're going to go through that all, but just let's say the surface thing here is not a deep thing because I have never been through that experience before. So if I have been through that, I think I have more thing that I have more to talk about, but however, I haven't. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, so you might have seen, like on a wedding, on a yeah, wedding ceremony. On a wedding, you might see some big or bulky boxes, big bulky boxes, like this, and this covered in like red silk cloth. I think so. A red piece of silk. Mm, and yeah, I think you might wonder what is actually hidden, or what is that mysterious thing down, like under that red silk thingy. However, this is called the wedding tray, or say when translated into English, it is something like completely different from, not completely different, but like 50-50% different from its original words in Vietnamese. So in Vietnamese, we have something like mâm quả, or I think that is the word they mostly use, mâm quả. And when translated into English, we just call it the tray. I mean, like the wedding tray, yes, but the tray is also only the mum and mum cưới wedding tray, yes. So this is what it calls, or something. Yeah, it can be this mysterious, or it can be this show off, as you can see on the on the right side picture. It can be anything. I mean, like for some artists, create, they can create, and they can sell that wedding tray at a hefty price. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see, the wedding tray on the right side is pretty huge, and yeah, that would take a lot of money. I mean, like, so yeah, if you haven't known about that, a wedding tray price range would be around 2.5 million Vietnam dong for, let's say, the basic options. And let's say for the higher end options, we're gonna have something up to 10 million for these for big bulky boxes. So yes, wedding tray. Oh yes, we can call it a dowry. 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 Yes, dowry, I think so. Okay, wedding tray or dowry. Whichever words means the thing you see on the screen. Okay. I think it's quite, I don't like this color. Let me check. Fix it, yes, sir. It's one there. Okay, a wedding tray or dowry. So as you can, oh shit. Okay, so yeah, one can actually choose or customize or let's say decorate, not really decorate because somebody want to do that for you, or the groom and the bride will not do that. However, you can customize it upon your desire or on your, let's say, the design you wanted or the shape you wanted. So as you can see on the right side, the picture on the right side, it can be something like a dragon or a phoenix. Phoenix, I don't know if you can, yeah. And here, dragon or phoenix. Yeah. So dragon, you already know what it is. It is from Vietnamese. However, the phoenix is a confirmed for your information. Phoenix. And yes, as far as I researched upon the internet, I think I saw that the price for a phoenix, a dragon and phoenix wedding tray or a wedding jewelry would be something around 6 million Vietnam dong. And it looked like amazing, you know, like you can actually smell the wealth in that thing, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so yes, wedding tray or jewelry. And what is included in this? What is under the silk, red silk cloth will be revealed right here. So for a jewelry or for wedding tray, no, let's say not but a complete set of wedding trays. So there is not only one single tray, but there would be something up to 6 to 8 trays for a wedding. You know what I'm saying? So it can include or a lot of things, or it can contain a lot of things. So as you can see on the list, we have Areca nuts and beetle, that beetle leaf. I think so, beetle, right? Okay, well, let me check. If it's beetle, I'm not. Yeah, beetle, yes, what can be beetle? Beetle leaves. So yes, areca nuts and beetle leaves are, let's say, two of the most common, let's say, what is that? Fruits, or not fruits. Okay, let's call them things. The most common things you will see upon a wedding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that called? Trầu cao, yeah, mâm trầu cao. If I'm not wrong, yeah, I think so. And yes, areca nuts and beetle root. I don't know if some of you guys have ever tried that dish. Yeah, probably I call it a dish. However, I think that it can do something to your mind. I mean, like, yeah, and of course it is addictive. So areca nuts and beetle leaf are, let's say, if you haven't know about it, it's something like the cigarettes for the old people. Like it acts like the same as the cigarettes for the old people. And, yeah, no one saying. Okay, and yes, the next one we have would be the five fruit tray. So five fruit tray is that's a very raw translation because we don't have any official words for this. You know, five fruit trays, when you translate it into Vietnamese or when you translate it from Vietnamese to English, it would be something like mâm bồ quả, if you know what I'm saying. Mâm bồ quả. And yes, you can actually tell that um, you can actually tell that the, let's say, what is that called? The translation is really raw and rough because we don't have the specific words for that. However, yeah, the five fruit trays can be varied. I mean, like we can optionally put the fruits we want in it, but actually that's some type of fruit that have the meaning, carry the set of meaning also. So it's not anything you want, but you have to be considerate about it, you know. Yes. And beside that, we can also have cake at every anniversary or any celebration. We have the cakes, you already know. And go along with the cake, we're gonna have the candles. However, the candles we're talking about here is not the tiny, they're not the tiny candle in this one. It would be something more serious. You know what I'm saying? Like the candle you see in wedding would be something like this big. You know what I'm saying? Like the candle is super large and it can be this long. But yes, it is symbolized for, let's say, wealth and happiness, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is not a candle that used for cake. No. That is a candle to have it on purposes of meaning. But I don't know why I have to make that such giant candles. Okay, cool. And yeah, to make the trade more formal, or let's say more attractive or more impressive, we or the people would try to put in some wine or tea. So yes, this is also the main factor that determine determine the price of the dowry or the wedding tray, because beside, let's say, the first and foremost factor determining the price of a dowry would be about decoration. However, what is inside or what is inside the dowry, what is included in the wedding tray would also somehow affecting the cost, whether to raise it or to lower it for some reason, would be the wine and the tea. So yes, as you can see, the higher the price of the dowry, the better the wine, maybe better the tea. And it is something like always something to impress or let's say to create a good impression upon the first meeting between the two families. Okay, sticky rice and chicken. Yes, something you can eat straight away. So sticky rice and chicken are one of the most traditional dish in Vietnam. If you didn't know, because yeah, let's say in any type of celebration, you will somehow see there is a sticky rice and chicken dish on the table. If I'm not wrong, I mean like um, yeah, I mean like in any type of celebration or any type of anniversary. So something like the funeral. I don't want to mention the most pessimistic, but I'm sorry, that's all I can think of right now. So yeah, the funeral, the wedding, yes. The death anniversary, it is been done in Vietnamese. It's different from a funeral. The death anniversary and what else? Yeah, probably. Let's say the processional wedding. Yeah, processional wedding or the tea party. So any type of, let's say, a little on a large scale celebration anniversary, we will have the dish of sticky rice and chicken. Simple, easy to understand, and just the candle. But yes, this is the dowry you see on the screen are pretty simple, or let's say pretty basic. No, not basic. I just think it's just simple. But yes, there are some more dowry, let's say more fascinating or more impressive or more, let's say, breathtaking dowry on the internet. You can check that out if you want to, if you opt for, let's say, big gift on the first day, on the important day of your life. So yes, always you can check it out on the internet. Okay, so here the discussion question is that what do they usually do before the wedding, my bad? Yes, they can do a lot of things, I know, but what they do usually do before weddings means here are, let's say, what are the steps for preparation. So I'm gonna guide you through it really quick. First one, we're gonna talk about the tea party. So yes, the tea party is an important part of a wedding. So yes, because Vietnamese people strongly believe that saying this, a good beginning makes a good ending. So a tea party, let's say the initial stage of a wedding, so that they will try to make it as good as possible. And let's say the first impression is also always the important one. So yes, the tea ceremony signal a happy marriage life for the newly weddings and continuation in the bloodline. We call it. Plus, a successful tea ceremony premise a successful wedding day. Yes, of course. Okay. Yes. So what they gonna do in a tea party? So there are several steps, and probably for a man, I'm not talking about a girl, a female perspective. I'm talking about a male perspective. I'm talking about my perspective. Okay, not I'm not let's say assuming all the things here, but the tea party, let's say one of the stressful event, the most stressful event you can ever have. Like you have to prepare everything. Prepare what you're gonna say, how you're gonna react, how you're gonna answer the question. What is the correct manner when communicating with elderlies, all stuff like that, and this you have to take into consideration of any of your actions or any of your speech. So yes, tea party might be a little bit stressful for somebody. I've never tried it, but I absolutely would be stressed out during a tea party. Okay, so what a tea party includes here would be the groom depart to the bride's house. I think I made some mistake here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So yes, the groom departs to the bride's house. So this step or this stage start very early in the day, let's say in a very early morning. And they need to double check the dowry tray. They have to prepare the dowry tray, sorry, or the wedding tray is what I'm saying, and arrive at the bride's home, say 30 minutes in advance to avoid unexpected issues. As well as that is the backup plan they have for any, let's say anything if they didn't go as planned. As well as next one we have to, yes, this doesn't go as, yeah, we will go counterclockwise, you know what I'm saying? Counterclockwise, so clockwise means the geographical, okay, clockwise, yes, clockwise means geographical, so we're gonna go counterclockwise, which means the geographical. Okay. Yes. So after coming to the bride's home, the two family will introduce themselves to each other, let's say in a specific order. So from the elders, followed by the groom and the gift carriers. You know the gift carriers, right? So yeah, the gift carriers are the people who bring, or the people who carry the dowry trays or the wedding trays. Okay. And yeah, the bride's family will greet the groom family without presenting the bride. After that, the bride family accept the gift, and the two family offer lucky money for the gift carriers. So yeah, the gift carrier is actually also got some lucky money for their effort. I think so. This can be quite a thing. You know what I'm saying? Before that is showing me, let me me check the camera. I think it's better. Okay. Great. And just after the two families introduction, there will be a stage and there will be a time for them to giving speeches. So the group elders representative will explain the purpose of the ceremony and as well as introduce the groom's family and describe the gifts. And the bride's elder representative will give thanks and accept the gift. Then the two mothers open each tray in everyone witness. So let's say that is that is when the red seal thing is uncovered. So you will actually see what are the gifts or what will the groom brings to the bride's house upon the every day. And yes, after the elder of the two family giving speech, the bride will present herself. So the bride hasn't shown herself up to this point. I mean, like the groom has come to her house and she hasn't shown up yet because she probably getting prepared or somehow it is the culture, it's tradition, I don't know. So either the father of the bride or the groom will come to escort her to greet everyone. So as you can see in some church or let's say some large wedding in some restaurant or some in the church, you will see there is a part that a father will escort or will accompany his daughter to the stage. So yeah, this is the point. But no, this is the only part for the tea party. It is not the wedding day yet. And after presenting herself, both the groom and the bride will do a tradition called prayers to their ancestors on the altar. So yes, this is, let me say, something religious tradition or religious procedure. I'm not going to talk about that. And lastly, would be the confirmation of the wedding day. So once the altar or the prayer to the ancestor is over, the two families will sit down to talk about the big day. They will arrange the dates as well as the time. What will be needed, and just the group and the bride can take photo with guests outside during this time. Yeah, because the elders are inside discussing this topic. Confirming the wedding dates can be a very problematic thing because let's say I'm going to solve this one for let's say better illustration. So there are four people, two parents of the groom and two parents of the bride. Each of them will have a specific opinion, or each of them will, not each, but each family, okay, let me tie it down. So each family will have a specific desired date of the wedding. So that it can be something like the right date, or let's say the suitable dates for the guests to come. So there are many factors that affecting the decision of confirming a wedding date, and it can be quite difficult to agree on a certain date because one's opinion can be conflicted with others' opinions. You know what I'm saying? So yes, quite problematic, and this should be planned in advance for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That should be the best. Okay, cool. So yes, after the tea party, we're gonna have the next one that would be about the costumes. The costumes, as you can see, this is a wedding. They are very famous actors. I'm sorry. Famous actors wedding. We've been on my phone 28 minutes already. Jesus Christ. So yes, the costumes upon a wedding can be varied. It can be decided by the bride and groom. And yes, you might wonder what I'm saying. What are the bride and groom? What are they? But I'm keep mentioning it. So here we go. The bride would be the woman. Oh shit, I didn't. I didn't. I think I include the definition. Oh shit. Okay, I'm sorry about this. So yes, the bride is actually the woman on her wedding day. Um, yes, the bride is this one, as you can see on the right side, and the male on the wedding day would be called groom. The groom, sorry, groom is in Sweden. No, a groom. Okay, so yes, the bride and the groom dressing would be up to them. I mean, like they can choose to follow the traditional wedding, so wearing áo dài for both of them, that is fine. Or they can try to choose the outfit. Let's say for a more modern wedding. So it can be anything from a wedding dress, a big wedding dress, or yeah, let's say the wedding dress, or maybe a dress. If it depends actually. I see most of the people on the Western people, they usually wear the big dress on the day during the daytime, and let's say a more comfortable, a more relaxed dress on the nighttime. So yes, it's up to the groom and the bride decisions. And yes, the color you usually see on the bride and the groom costume would be red. That would be, yeah, red can be have some meaning. But give me 1 second, I need to find that. Yeah, the red áo dài. So yes, the color red in Asian culture is considered luck, for consider or symbolize fortune and happiness. So also it can give the warmth to the bright skins. So let's say most of the people would like to choose a deep red color áo dài for a wedding. Okay, besides that, we're gonna have some more options of a color would be some blush pink or pastel pink. Yes, this is more like a teen, let's say the young bride go to because this color is pretty sweet and bring out the feminine side of the bride. And yes, that would emphasize, or let's say, brighten the bright skin also that color. Beside that, we're gonna have soft gold or blush gold also. And lastly, would be about white. So white is one of the most common color you can see on every wedding. And white dress is actually the symbolized for the wedding itself. So some may debate that white dress will darken the skin tone. But however, it is the key to pick a warmer white, like off-white or ivory color, to to brighten your skin upon your important day. And lastly, will be about hairstyle and makeup. So there are, let's say, a lot of things to do for hairstyle and makeup on wedding day. I have seen many cases that a bride have to wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. just to have a hairstyle makeover or a makeup get ready done for her face. And yeah, that can take up to 3 or 4 hours. And yes, you have to wake up like three on her wedding day and have to, let's say, try to stay awake for the rest of the day. That would be terrible. experience. I mean, like, yeah, but it's also last for 1 important days, which doesn't consider too much. Yes. Lastly, would be about the choice of shoes. So yes, choice of shoes is also important when it comes to the right costume because the right pair of shoe will not only flatters the dress, but also give the bride the most comfort because she will have to move or to stand throughout the whole day if the wedding is long. And after all, she expects us then to stand alone. So pointy shoes with pointy heels can be a good choice, or maybe it will look good in photos, but however, they are not optimal options for the people who would spend the whole day in greeting people. So instead, try to opt for block heels or wedges or kitten heels type of shoes. So that will provide more comfort upon your experience in your important day. And yes, for the men, it's much more simpler. Just vest or áo dài. So yeah, if your bride is wearing a dress, and yes, of course you have to wear a vest. And if your bride wearing áo dài, you have to wear áo dài. So yes, that is also the third rule is to match with the bride. So the groom in this case have no, let's say, doesn't have any power, and you have to follow the bride, right? And lastly, fit is key. Don't wear anything too loose or too tight upon this day because you want to look best on the photo. So yes, you would probably want your clothes to be fit. And one more thing is that it has to be comfortable because probably you have to wear it throughout the day, like the whole day. So yes, fit and comfort is key, are keys. Cool. So I don't want to talk about this one discussion. Who will cover the cost, the wedding's cost? This can be a super, let's say, the top-notch sensitive um, issue upon couples or upon pre-marrying couple, pre-marriage couples. Because who will cover the wedding costs? Let's say if it's actually this one, I don't give any opinion on this one because it is a sensitive topic and I'm just giving my thought. I mean, like if the bride family do something for the wedding, so as well the groom families has to contribute, let's say, the same or more. No, I mean like the same, at least the same or more than the contribution of the bride's family. I mean, like there should be nothing so clear or nothing to define. However, this is a two people thing, it's not the one person thing, you know what I'm saying? So if yeah, they have to say that's đồng bộ đồng that will not be kind. So that is what I want to say in this case because yeah, that would be less pressure for either of the sides. I mean, if you put it all or more for the bright side, for either the bright side, for the good sides, it can create some pressure, like financial pressure, and somehow it will ruin things or ruins the happiness of the wedding. So don't think too much about it, but communicate about it and reach some agreements upon this issue would be the best advice I can give. And yes, the next one we will cover would be the bouquet. Oh shit. Okay. So yes, a bouquet. What I is what I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream. So a bouquet is actually just a different name for a bunch of flowers that is used by the bride in a wedding. So yes, a bouquet can be, let's say, more beautiful more sophisticated, more complex, and maybe pricier than a normal bunch of flowers, let's say a bunch of roses or anything like that. A bouquet would be something different, a different kind of tier, a higher tier of a bunch of flowers. So a bouquet can bouquet bouquet a bouquet can include different types of flowers, and we provide or say illustrate, giving you 10 examples of the flowers that might be included in a bouquet. That will be rose or carnation, daffodils, I think you know this one. Gerbera, I don't know about this one, to be honest. Lily, yes. Lily are pretty, lily, or lily in music is all very familiar in Vietnam, and they has been grown in the land a lot these days. Peony would be older, if I'm not wrong. Orchid, aster, dahlia, and freesia. So here are, let's say, some flower mixture that a florist would include in your bouquet. And when mentioning bouquet, say people are thinking of another stage. I mean, that the bouquet is not only be held by the groom, the bride, and let's say be thrown into the trash bin a few days later. No. It can be used for another activity. It can be used to the next activity called this one, the bouquet toss. Yeah, bouquet tossing. So yes, bouquet tossing is a traditional tradition, let's say a way to have fun. So yes, the bride will toss the bouquet backward without aiming at anyone. Actually, sometimes they do. And it is the meaning of this action is it is acts as a fun way for the bride to share her day with her single friends or family members. And single ladies look forward to the bouquet toss and are excited to elbow the competition. So what does it mean to elbow the competition right here? Would be you can understand that when you catch a bouquet upon a wedding, you will be the next person, or let's say soon enough, you will be the person who get married. So elbow the competition means getting married and acts the same as the bride in the wedding day of he or she is attending. Okay, I don't know if my my explanation got quite difficult to understand sometimes. Okay, and some brides can opt to stage the bouquet stop toss, which means in this case, intentionally, they can choose who to toss the bouquet to. So that is specific from person from the wedding party, such as the maid of the owner or close engaged friend catches it. Okay, easy. So yeah, a bouquet, let's say the price for the bouquet can vary. I mean, the same as the wedding tray or the dowry tray, you will have tons of options. You will have, let's say, a wide variety of options and price range to choose. However, there is an incident or there is an event that happened not so long ago. So if you remember, there is artist. I don't really remember if she is an actor or whether she is an actor or whether she is a singer. But her name is Lin Nan, and she was tossing a 40 million bouquet in her wedding. Like a bunch of flower for 40 millions. Okay, that would be something different. And if it was me, I wouldn't throw that. Like, okay, to illustrate what I want to say here is, okay, so you imagine, okay, you held a bunch of flowers, okay, you throw it away, you throw it backward to any of your friends, that would be fine, that would be no problem. However, if you think you are holding 40 million cash, you're holding 40 million cash. So let's say a bunch of money is on your hands and you throw it away. Would you do that? No. but the man was the one who did that. She threw 40 million bouquet away. So yes, 40 million would be nothing for a rich person. However, yes, that is a pretty expensive one. I have to say, pretty expensive flowers. Right. Cool. And yeah, one more debating questions would be what is the best age for marriage? I mean, like, oh shit. Okay, I don't know about this. So yeah, what is the best age for marriage? The answer might vary. Um, I mean, like, it's up to you, or it's up to either the bride or the group family to decide upon um, this concern, because some people like to marry at the age of 22 or 24, right after they graduate from university or higher education. However, there are many people that prefer to get married in their mid 30s or in their early 30s or even their late 30s. So yeah, the results can be varied, or say the options. You can choose a lot of options from this case. But let's say the most optimal age for marriage would be somewhere around 25 and 30. So that is when you have something in your hand. I mean, like you can have a stable income, you have something to provide your family with, to pay the bill, you have a stable job. So that is when marriage should really happen. Or else you can actually have a marriage, you can actually get a marriage before that age. However, the experience or what you will experience in your marriage would be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a lot to take into consideration. Probably having a baby can be another problem, can be another things you have to, let's say, another type of expenses you have to take into consideration. So yes, this can be up to or decided by both of the bride and groom family, and it's different variety from people to people. And let's try to finish off this one. Okay, so yeah, the steps for a wedding, let's say, pretty similar to the tea ceremony of a wedding. So the step of a wedding can be, say, very simple. I'm gonna show you here. Okay, so auspicious wedding date would be reaching an agreement on a wedding date. And it can be affected, as I said, can be affected by many different factors and different opinions. So yes, engagement photo, yes. This is, let's say, a way to mark or to memorize one of the most important day in your life. Engagement photos can be taken with different styles or different desire, mm, or different concepts either. There are, let's say, some very beautiful concepts being photographed in the land of Vietnam, or let's say in Cao Bằng, say somewhere, some mountain, or let's say more scenic places. However, there are some engagement photos that are taken in the city or in the studio, so it can be varied. Yes. And again, there is one saying is that people will never take photo of something they want to forget, right? So engagement photos are something you use to memorize the important day of your life. Okay, and engagement ceremony. In Vietnamese, we have something like đám hỏi. If I'm not wrong, yeah, engagement ceremony, đám hỏi, or lễ vu quy. I think so. Wedding processional, as I said, in the tea party, pretty similar. Prayer at the altar, so means prayer at the ancestor, similar to the steps at the tea party. And lastly, they will honor elders. So honor the elders would be, let's say, something the bride and the groom would do to, let's say, mm, like this will show the respect and show the parents' opinion with respect to deceased ancestor. In the procession of gifts to the bride's family or the mongwa is another way to pay respect to the bride's family and thanking them for raising the bride to the individual she is today. So yes, also have carry some meaning in it. Okay, but what to do before marriage? There's a lot of things to do. A lot of youth or youngster these days come to marriage without thinking too much, but that could be some drawbacks upon their experience with their own marriage. So what you have to do before marriage can be important. So communication and agreement. What I want to mention here would be shit. Okay, so communication. You're gonna talk about your wedding plans, of course, and yes, the mindset. When two people living together, they have to alter or change. I don't want to use the word change, but alter their mindsets to adapt to the situation or the environment they're living in together. Because living alone and living together, when two individuals living together, that is a whole new different story. So yes, different mindset can be conflictual. So agree on that would be better for goals and target. Goals and target would be something like the couple would agree before getting into marriage, because if they have different goal and different target, they will have different type of schedule or different type of process that will somehow disturb or somehow bother the other half. Okay, and responsibilities also is communicate, exchange about communicate about responsibilities, what each have to do in order to raise a family. Okay, and agreements on responsibility, of course, after you communicate to your discussion, you have to agree on something. And expenses, agreements on expenses. So you can choose whether to have a mutual credit card, mutual cards, mutual account, or separate accounts. And just who's gonna pay for which category of the household. So yes, agreements on that thing. So that would be, let's say, easier or less conflictual when you step into the marriage. Some discussion also, mutual goals, as I mentioned. And yes, after a tiring wedding, after a lot of preparation, you might want to treat yourself, or let's say want to enjoy the time with your loved one or your newly loved one. So this is when the honeymoon come into practice. But I don't know a lot of, let's say, a lot of suggestion I can give you. However, say I will try to convince you why you should spend your honeymoon in Vietnam instead of going to like more luxury places, more going abroad, going, I don't know, on a cruise. But just honeymoon in Vietnam can be can also be interesting. Like you can see the reason for having a honeymoon in Vietnam would be about the service. Yes, of course, the service in Vietnam are amazing. I'm not lying, I'm not promoting. But yes, it is amazing. You got all the service you need, top notch. Again, and they are very cheap. People, yes, people are friendly, and they will greet the traveler or the tourist with the friendliest manner possible. And their hospitality is recommendable. And always, they will always be there to help you if you have any problem. Food, yes, you already know about it. It's food tasty and scenic beauty. Romantic location, yes. Also, we also include some destinations or some places you can actually visit, or you can actually spend your honeymoon on during this time. So scenic beauty or romantic location. And lastly will be about the budget. So yes, honeymoon can be in Vietnam can be affordable, can be reasonable for some couple. So yes, a good choice though. There are many places you can actually go on honeymoon in Vietnam. So you can choose to go to two big cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh, or if you've been staying there or if you've been there too much already, you can visit Hội An or Da Nang, middle of Vietnam or Hanoi, beautiful beautiful natural scenery. But yes, if you're tired after land and you want to go to the island, that would be Phu Quoc Island or Cô Nào Island. That would be some good time you will spend closer to the nature while getting away from the crowded city. Okay. However, if you have any more recommendations on where to go on a honeymoon, please comment in the comment section down below. Let us know, and we will appreciate your contribution to this live stream series. So once again, that is it for today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for stay tuned, and we will be back with another episode on Monday. Right. So stay tuned and peace out. Thank you.